Hello everyone, time for another catch up. There's a lot going on at the moment. Some of it's tractor related, some of it isn't, some of it's rally related, some of it's road run related. So yeah, there's quite a bit going on, and hopefully over the next few weeks I'll have a few more blogs. Our rally is progressing fast, and I think we've sort of crossed all the hurdles that's going to stop us having it, and we're still aiming to be the weekend of 18th and 19th of September. We'll be holding the rally on a new site, a lot more room, shouldn't be any restrictions on people coming. I'm not going to worry too much about entries and things like that because nobody likes taking them. We're going to be quite free about it really, and if you come along you will get in. The difference this year will be that if you want to bring your tractor along, we expect you to make a contribution. It's been a tough time for the rallies, tough time for the charities, and everybody's dying to get out. If you've got 20 quid in your pocket, chuck it in the pot. If you haven't got 20 quid in your pocket, you really can't afford anything, you've had a rough time like a lot of people have, you can come in for nothing. We don't mind. We're not going to pay you to come in, but it's a bit like that. Same with the general public. This year I want them to pay £12 a head. Some won't be able to afford it. In that case they don't have to pay it, but let your conscience be your judge, and we can offer you 2 good days of entertainment and 2 good nights of entertainment. Come to that. What can you get for 24 quid nowadays if it's like that? So anyway, be generous. Okay, so what have I been doing? I showed you a bit about the Fergy 65 the other day. I've got some more to tell you about that, so I think we'll start there. This is the 65 I bought back the other day. It's good, it's a good runner and everything's good about it, but the front was a bit battered. It didn't look too bad, but actually it'd been pushed back in. So I took it all to pieces and tried to put it back together, but the corrugated pieces, the grid then, they were really out of shape, and I'd got no pattern. Anyway, I managed to find those 2 second hand, so I bought a new pair, or another pair, that fitted them, but I couldn't got it all together, and it was very difficult to put together. And then this hole in the front here, I couldn't find a second-hand piece of chrome to go around it, so I bought a new one, and it's a piece of cast. And as soon as I tried to put it on, it broke, and you could see once it broke, and I could see what was wrong, and it had been moulded out of a piece that had been battered in anyway, so it was no good for the job. So I sent it back, or tried to send it back to where I'd got it from, and they weren't very helpful at all. They said I'd broken it and it was my fault, and I said, well, it was never right in the first place. And they said, oh, they couldn't claim back on it because it hadn't been broken in transit. I said, well, I can soon say it has. But anyway, I have sent it back, and I'm waiting to see what happens. They did offer me 50% discount, and I said, no, it's no good, it's not fit for purpose. So I want all my money back. Happy to buy another one if you can find one to fit. Anyway, it was still in dispute, so I'm not going to say how it was. I'm going to see if they do honour it at the end, and then if they don't, it'll be on here. The last time I showed it you, the back tyre got a big split in it on the inside, so I'd got that one, and I went and got it fitted. It's got a new tube in it. Unfortunately, they pinched it, and so it's got a puncture at the moment, and they are coming out to mend it. Won't cost me anything to do it, but I did take it to them, so I think they should only come to me to mend it. So it's on a jack at the moment, but when I put the wheel on, I was keen to try it, so I got it back out of the shed and took it down the lane. Our test bed is the lane, and it drives nicely. We've redone the steering box, so the steering box works okay, and I got to the bottom of the lane, touched the brake, and the wheel on the other side locked up solid, and we just flew. and I was in top gear, and when I let the brake off, because I was still moving on, and I thought for all the world I was going to turn it over. I corrected it, but I was up the hedge, and when I let it go, I managed to steer around and just touched the brake again to slow down, locked again, and I was up the hedge again. So it was a frightening time and a bit of a salutary warning, really, because I really thought I was going over. I was looking for what to hang on to, but when I got it apart, I found out that because the tyre that's been fitted was ballasted, when I put the new one on it was unballasted, and because it made it wrong, it wasn't, the brakes weren't working because it was ballasted. When I actually looked at them properly, they were seized on the shaft, and although both brakes do work, only one was coming on, and it was coming on sharply. So a warning, you know, even when you're my age, you can still learn things. Apart from that, it's quite good. I've still got a few little odds and ends to do to it. The hydraulic arm on the left hand side is there, but it's stripped the threads in, I think, so that chain was put on just to hold it together, and I haven't bothered taking it off. But I can't make it mind if it's in or outer, so I'm going to have a better look at it. So that's the 65. Once the punch is mended, it'll be fit to go again. A bit more balancing on the brakes, but it's okay. I'm looking for a brake. There is a pickup hitch with it, but it's the old style, like on a T20 with a frame, a T-bar on it. But I would like to have a proper swinging drawbar, so if anybody's got one kicking about, they want to sell very cheap, because I'm not very wealthy, see what you can do. Now that really was a lucky escape for me, and I've had some near goes in the past. I've only ever turned a tractor over once, but that was close, I'll tell you. And you can see how accidents happen so easily, and it was purely, well, speed did it. You know, I was probably going too fast. I thought I'd got brakes and I hadn't, or I had one very good one and one bloody awful. So, but it was, I'd like to think that I controlled it, whereas perhaps somebody else wouldn't have controlled it, but the difference between control and being upside down was very close, and it was luck more than judgment, I've got to say. Anyway, the other grand buy I had, you haven't seen this one. This is a diesel major, which I bought a day or two ago, and I picked it up this week. It wasn't running. There was no reason to think it wouldn't run, but it wasn't running. So Ian was here the other night, and we had an hour on it and got it going. I can't show you it running because I haven't got a battery on it, and I couldn't be bothered to put one on, for the truth's known. So you'll have to wait for that one. But it's a nice tractor, and well, let me show you. This is one I brought back this last week. It's a diesel major. It wasn't running. It got no oil in it when I fetched it back. It'd been drained out, and they put a new filter in it, and then realised it hadn't got no oil. So it hadn't been started or anything. It was just needed oil put in. The only it's very original, but the front grille, one of the grids has lost a big chunk of it, and I don't really want. I can get new ones, but I don't really want to put new ones in. It'll spoil it, because as you can see, it's got its patina, so it's good. We did get it started the other day, and we'll put the oil in it and got it all kicked off. Runs beautifully. I'm not going to start it now because there's no battery on it. I can't tow it. So the unusual thing though on this one is the lack of hydraulics, which isn't unusual, but power takeoff as well. And the reason it was like that is because when it was bought new, it replaced a Fordson Standard, because the Fordson Standard hadn't got a power takeoff or hydraulics, so he didn't need it. And I suppose he went on quite happily with it. And then he bought a Fordson Dexter, and that had got hydraulics and a power takeoff, so he still didn't need it. And I think it spent a lot of its time on a mill doing the pulley work that the standard Fordson used to do. So there's me David Brown, there's me Fordson diesel major. It's got all its all the glass on the dials. Its oil pressure's good on it. Got a little bit of tidying up to do. I think the foot plates had rusted out on it, so there's a new one there, and I've got another new one to put on that side. They came with the tractor, but the brakes on this left-hand side, they also need reassembling. So I haven't tried this one down the lane to see if the brakes work on this one. Anyway, that's it. That's my latest additions. Another one for the Fordson Major collection, but it's quite a rare beast. First thing, when I was first told about it, I thought, yeah, I've got a spare pair of takeoff and spare hydraulics. I'll soon put those on, but I think it'll spoil it, to be honest. It's you know, it's a nice. That's how it was bought, and it stayed like that all the way through. The bonnet's a little bit rusty, and I would like it to be, but the rest of it, you know, it can stay. I haven't got to do anything. I haven't got to do anything to it really. I think it would. It wouldn't necessarily devalue it, but it wouldn't put a lot onto it by spending a lot of money on it. So, you know, it can stay as it is. It'll be the rusty one. Hopefully, we'll have it in the Fordson Majorettes when we do the rally. My grandson is now big enough to join the Fordson Majorettes, so we've got to get him on it. He's driven just about everything else, but we've got to get him down to. I don't think he's driven a major. He's driven the county, the roadless. He's driven the 5,000, the 4,000. He's fell in love with them all the David Browns, but he's not actually driven a major. So we better get him on that. But if we can get him in it, it'll be great, because I'll have my son, daughter, son-in-law, grandson, who else? Well, lots of family. And then of course we'll be doing the Fergy fillies, so there'll be 2 daughters in that, and another one pointing around, waving her arms about and telling them what to do. So, you know, a good time. So we're looking forward to the rally. Before the rally, we've got a road run. That's on the 15th of August, and it's another one in memory of Timmy. This is Timmy's Memorial Road Run. Hopefully it'll become an annual event. We're not sure if it'll be on the same dates next year, because we don't know what it'll clash with, but I think it could actually be then. I don't think there's an awful lot on the middle of August. Lots of people about, but not so many events going on. So hopefully it'll be, this is a bit of a joint venture. This is by the Mayor of St Mirren. He asked me to help, Colin Williams, and I'm pleased to help him. Good chap Colin is, and he does a lot for charity anyway, but he needed a bit of advice on what to do, so he came to me. I don't know if it was good advice or not, but anyway, we got a good run, good picturesque run. Hopefully we'll have some film to show you for that. It promises to be a lot of tractors there, so I don't know, you know, Timmy was a popular bloke and there'll be people coming from everywhere, so looking forward to that. The rally itself, that's again talking a bit in front, and I'll probably mention this a lot more times before that, but one of the aims, again, it'll be in memory of Timmy. Can't help it, but you know, it's I'm really going to miss him at the rally this time. He's we were each other's wingmen on the ring, and he's not going to be there. So but what I'm going to do, we're going to open the rally, and the first event will be a parade of any tractors, vehicles, motorbikes, lorries, push bikes, wheelchairs, roller skates, anything you like that Timmy's owned. And we want, don't know how long ago, but I just want to get as much stuff in the ring so we can see the scope of what Timmy did. And there's already a lot of people have said, yeah, I'll bring that, and it's going to spur a few people to get stuff going. So that should be quite good, and we'll definitely film that one, and that'll definitely be a YouTube video, so you know, you will see that. The rally itself, we're one of the only ones doing it. I'm determined to get back to normal as much as we can. I'm saying, you know, everything is as it was, unless for some reason we can't do it. but we're thinking of ways of getting around everything, and so far so good. Looks like it's going to be a proper rally, and if we can get one ticked off at the end of this season, it'll mean everybody else can start next season confident that they can go. It'll be St Morgan did it last year, we'll do it this year, and hopefully this bloody COVID will have got back to where it should be. It is serious. I don't want to diminish that, but it's been made to seem a lot worse than it really is. That's my thoughts anyway. Okay, well, I don't want to go on too long. I intended this to be a short video tonight, so that's what it'll be. It's a lovely evening here in St Morgan. See that bit of blue sky over my shoulder there? It looks cloudy back there, but it's a nice night and it's not too cold, so hopefully you'll be able to hear this okay. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.